quadrant of the Trovo region. I don't know exactly. Anyway, in the top left side of the map, it is going to be Submarine. Most likely being picked by Dream once again. It could be because he likes small maps. It could be because it rhymes with his name. Who knows? Who knows what goes on in his head? Anyway, we are introducing the other player right now. His opponent in the red, the Zerg from Jin Green Wings. He is Rogue. And in the bottom right, we got ourselves a blue Terran fighting for the Brave Star Gamers. He is Dream. Show your support, give it up. Shout out his name if you want that Terran to make a victory right here. He is quite a formidable opponent after all. And he needs to be because, well, this could be one hell of a tough one indeed. Going up against Rogue, no small feat. I know sometimes Rogue kind of drops the ball here and there, right? Sometimes he kind of whiffs it, sometimes, but ultimately he's still a very, very strong player. Guys and girls, where I found brackets, Mr. Dr. Pub Points. There's no bracket. It is, well, I guess there is in a sense. I'll get it to you. Hold up. I got it right here. It's on Wikipedia. But it is just a two-part bracket, right? We have the semifinals and we have the finals. We just did the semifinals, right? We saw Dream versus Creator. We saw Rogue versus Prince. And now we have Dream versus Rogue. And that's it. That's all this is. It's just 3 big old series being played by 4 strong Protoss players. Protoss. They're all Protoss in my eye. No, they're professional players is what I mean. Which, yeah, what some Protoss are. Some Protoss are. You know, I didn't mess up as badly as I initially thought I did, so thank you very much. Alright, what do we have going for ourselves? There is a factory on the way here without a reactor being building. Okay, there we go. It is being created now. A little bit of harassment with that Reaper. Ooh, almost getting blocked up right there. That's getting out. You know the missus? No, I said Mister. Mister. You don't miss. Oh wait, you don't want to be called a Mister. I see. Maybe you're a ma'am. Ma'am Dr. Pop Points. You know what? That's right. I was a little bit sexist of me of assuming that, you know, Dr. Pop Points would be a man. He is. Well, he or she is a doctor. I don't know why, but it's weird, right? When you read Doctor, very quickly you will make the assumption that it is going to be a man that is the doctor. It doesn't have to be. I think it comes forth out of the part of our brain where we gave certain professions multiple different names, right? Depending on whether a man or a woman was the profession. And I don't know. It's a weird one, right? It's a weird one. It's not really necessary anymore either, I think, in this day and age, but like, which ones? I think maybe that might just be a Dutch thing, actually. Who knows? Anyway, Hellions coming up here together with the Reaper to the cliff, looking to maybe barbecue some lings to provide more access into the natural base. Not going to be acquired right now. We have roaches on the way here for Rogue, and we have already benches on the way for Dream. So Dream, he may be able to get himself into a good place. Well, I did say Mr. Dr. Bob Point, so I don't know if it's Mrs. Dr. Bob Point. That could be the case as well. I just like to double down with certain things and be like, alright, Mr. Doctor, tell me what's wrong. Mr. Doctor. Right, getting that Ravager. It looks like already straight off the bat, these roaches not going to get anything done. Immediately being punished rather heavily, in fact, by the Hellions and the Banshees on the retreat. I like the fact that Rogue is not trying to turn around up until the point where he is on this creep area. He's now even being able to gun down a couple of those Hellions. So not too bad, not too bad. But, yeah, ultimately, it's a weird one, right? Because we saw Rogue, he did invest into those roaches. It wasn't a massive investment. He still has a good amount of drones. And now but, you know what? Originally intended for aggression, roaches are now being utilized for the defense of those drones. So, in a way, he is allowed to be a little bit more greedy with his drone counts. Because he did go for those roaches. A bit more of an investment, so the drones were a little bit later overall. But right now, this is helping him into a very stable economy, right? This is why we're seeing a dip into the blue and then going back up into the red. Dream should be a tougher opponent than Prince. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Dream, after all, let us take a look. He is ranked number 22 on the League Lag. Number 15 in South Korea. So this should be good. This should be good. Alright, good. Good Dr. Pop points. Alright, an armory on the way as well as the +1/+1 here. The combat shield's also starting to be finished up. There's quite a bit of creep spread here, though, available for Rogue, so maybe a bit tricky to get on top of the Zerg expansions as quickly as he would like to get. Ultimately, that's the best place here on the left side, probably, which is where Dream was kind of going towards. But ultimately, that's just too many roaches, too many Ravagers, even for Marine, Medevac, and Siege Tanks to fight here. Even with that Banshee just free shooting continuously on top of this cluster of units right here. And as this is happening, just more and more drones are being produced. 10 more on the menu. We're going to get a very healthy worker count here for Rogue very soon, as he does kind of secure a fourth base with this as well, right? He's starting to immediately grab another gas right there. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets the other one as well. I'm a little bit surprised that he doesn't, in fact. That's what surprises me the most. Okay, these BIOS needs to stay close so the Banshee doesn't chase his units. It's kind of this weird moment where you're like, alright, well, I guess I need my roaches to be shot here so the Banshee doesn't chase my own units here. And it actually will go down due to the BIOS. A weird interaction, but you know, it's the correct one. It is the correct one. And Rogue here, again, maintaining quite a healthy worker count, right? Still on 84. Nothing going down. Nice brat with his units. And good solid trades overall taking place. Behind this, he's grabbing himself the Hive Tech already as well. And that is without a... Yeah, that is without a... how much you call it? A Hydralisk Den. No Hydralisk Den here, nor a Lurker Den, of course. So, is Rogue going into the Viper Roach Ravager once more? He's grabbing himself the melee upgrade as well, so it could potentially be those Ultralisk as well. We do sometimes see Rogue preferring the Ultralisk over the... the Lurkers. Wow. I don't know why I'm having difficulty remembering names of very common units. Meta units that are continuously being utilized right now. So yeah. Burrowed Roach is also a thing at the moment, of course, as we kind of can clearly see. There's not that many missile turrets anywhere, in fact. It's gonna have to be produced pretty darn soon here if he doesn't want to just be tunneled underneath and suddenly have roaches absolutely in all of his mineral lines. That would be quite a problematic situation, I would say. Adrenal glands and vipers being produced, so no real... anything into Ultralisk just quite yet, although there it is. Okay, we'll be going for it. Be going for it regardless of what I was saying earlier on. One single burrowed roach here. Oh, that is kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Right underneath the army here. It's going to get scouted, unfortunately, because this army was trying to deal with the burrowed ling there. But that's pretty cool. You don't see that too much. That I feel like that needs to be something that is done more often, right? Because that's basically like having an observer over the Terran army. But then perhaps it's a little bit more difficult to see because the shade of the roach underground is underneath the marauder, right? Instead of above the forces. It's going to be harder to really have that indicator for the Terran plays. So that's a very interesting thing. That's stuff that we need to see more people try to utilize here. You don't have that much vision as you would have with an observer, of course, but if you're just kind of chasing it around, it allows you to do all sorts of things, right? I suppose he also sees it with that with the creep at the same time in location, but ultimately, you know what? Because of him scouting this a little bit earlier, he's going to be able to make this happen sooner also. The army for Dream is starting to be a little bit frightful here, though, I have to say. Starting to become quite intimidating. Is he going to be ready for Ultralisk, though? That's the real question. They don't have chitinous plating just quite yet, so Rogue will be sacrificing his base for now. There's no blue flame either, so these Lings do take 3 shots to be killed off right now, so that is a little bit beneficial, I suppose, for Rogue at this moment in time. And he's trying to recreate another base in the bottom left side as well. Not just going to sit idly by as he loses bases here. Oh, Biles. Biles only getting a couple of Marauders. Nothing too bad. Chitinous plating almost ready. It's going to help out those Ultralisk a ton, of course, with staying alive. Need to get that Ultralisk speed, of course, also to be produced. It's going to help out even more. Well, I guess nothing is more important for an Ultralisk than the plating, ultimately, but... Alright, let's see. Let's see how this fight is going to take place. Guys, there's a lot of stuff happening here. In fact, this is almost too much to see on one screen. In fact, it is too much to see on one screen. Yeah, I mean, Dream is pushing through here so far. The forces on the bottom side not trading out quite efficiently at all. And now we have ourselves a big push coming on through for Dream here. And we need to have some force of Rogue being assembled together in order to maintain the overall order in this third base that he did create for himself. Okay, Vipers, there's only a single Blinding Cloud available, and that's only for a single Siege Tank. One Siege Tank will fall, but ultimately there's so many Marauders still left remaining. 3 Ravagers also remain. Do manage to get rid of another Siege Tank, but ultimately this is not looking all too swell for Rogue here. Dream had more than enough Marauders to ensure the destruction of the army of Rogue before he was completely ready to take this fight. And yeah, there you go. GG is called. Dream takes game number 1. Not bad. Not bad at all. So far, we've had 2 clean sweeps. Well, no, actually, no, we didn't have 2 clean sweeps. What am I talking about? It just kind of felt like 2 clean sweeps. Because the game that Prince did manage to win was a rather short one. So it was not all that memorable in a way, right? Anyway, this one here, Dream, that felt quite playable for him. A lot of the thing, well, a thing of much influence in this situation is, of course, Submarine, the map itself. It's very short, it's very tiny, and it's easy to push across the map. I think almost seeing these Ultralisks, I mean, was that the right call on a small map like that? The Ultralisk are more mobile than Lurkers, but I mean, if you're already on a small map like that, maybe Lurkers are the correct choice overall, right? Just a bit better damage dealers, I would say, than the Ultralisk themselves. Sometimes I feel like... Sometimes I feel like the, whatchamacallit? What was the saying? Ultralisk. Oh, right, the army composition of the Zergs. That's what I want to talk about. So, we know that DRG has a really, really solid ZVT right now. I mean, it is incredible. Unfortunately, you didn't quite manage to show everything of it in the GSL today, but he's pretty good at it. He's pretty darn good at it. And a lot of it is, well, at least from what I saw, he keeps a surprising amount of links within his composition. He doesn't just go for a bunch of banelings, because ultimately this is a big sink of minerals and gas, whereas the Zerglings are a lot cheaper. And the Zerglings, surprisingly enough, they do incredibly well against Marauders, against the Siege Tanks, against Thors also. You just need to make sure that you kind of split. Oh, I'm the leader now. Interesting, interesting. Okay, pillars. Oh, that's the wrong one. I don't wanna play. I wanna make a map. Alright, I'm gonna make a map here, guys. Hold up. Pillars. Pillars of gold. Entering lobby. Please work this time. Alright, we're gonna restart the game. I'm sorry, guys. Apparently stuff is happening here. Dr. Pop Points. I'm not quite sure what you're saying. What's happening here? Doctor. Wait. So you're talking to a doctor? And then you're pointing to a pub? Is that it? Because you love beer, you love vodka, you love the marijuana. Medicine. It's a medicine for you. It's not a pharmaceutical for recreational use. It is a pharmaceutical for medicinal purposes. Because you love basketball. Your nickname is missing something. Think about SC2. So you don't have StarCraft 2 in your name. That's the problem there. So I suppose point. So you have a point guard in basketball, right? So is that where the point comes from? And the pub has the... Oh, okay. All right, I get it now. I get it now. Yes. Right. I just read it. When you play drunk basketball, you end up needing medicine, is what I'm guessing. Yes. I think you're on to something here, T-Faced. Okay. Okay, we're in the lobby. We're doing it. Progress is being made. Inu is saying one more, but I'm not quite sure who we are waiting for. Waiting for lieutenants. Ah. Who is lieutenants? I'm not quite sure. Ah, it's the co-caster of Swirolek. Okay. Okay, this all makes sense now. So, is this a thing people do? Play drunk basketball? Because, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. It sounds like kind of fun. It sounds like it would be fun. In a way. Just... continuously, people just kind of like... and then just... Throwing balls into their own basket. Does sound like fun. Ah, Doctor. When you play drunk basketball, you need to go to the doctor for the medicine. This makes sense. We figured it out. So how could you incorporate StarCraft 2 in there? Okay, game just... there we go. It's not a best of 5 codes then. It's not a best of 5. It's this. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're going to continue this line of conversation at a later point. First, we're going to introduce these players. You know what? Let's do it quick, though. Jinek Greenwings, he is a rogue. And, of course, Bravestar Gaming, he is Dream. 1 point on the board here for him. With a 1-0 lead in a best of 7 series. Alright, so how are you supposed to put StarCraft 2 in that name as well? I don't know. Maybe it depends on what race you play, right? You could try to poke a thing in your name with that. You could be Dr. Micropub Point. You could also go for the points. The point instead of point guards, be a point defense drone. No, wait, what was that called again? The point. It wasn't it the point defense drone or the point defense missile? Point defense. No, it was the point defense drone, right? It used to be a Raven ability, where it would like shoot down enemy enemy missile attacks or enemy. It's not. How do you call this? Projectiles. Enemy projectiles in midair. Can't believe I still remember those things. It was a long time ago, wasn't it? Raven's undergone a lot of changes over time. It's crazy. The amount of changes we've seen on that Raven. On pretty much all of the spellcasters in a sense, right? Except for High Templar, I suppose. Their abilities never really changed. They've been tweaked. But they never had a full change of the ability itself, if I'm not mistaken. It's not like they had an ability that just instantly killed people in AoE, and now they have something entirely different, right? That just kind of slows them down or makes them blind, or... Sentries never changed. Yeah, Sentries never changed either. Protoss just balanced from the start. Yeah, I suppose so. What units from... which spellcaster from the Protoss got new spells at a later point in time? Huh. Are there any? The Oracle? Did the Oracle have different spells earlier on? What spells did the Oracle used to have? What spells did the Oracle used to have? Yeah, I mean, abilities did change. I mean, the same goes for High Templar then as well, right? The High Templar used to have the crystal thing, or the amulet. The amulet on the High Templar archives, so you would instantly have like, what was it, 50 extra energy whenever you would summon a High Templar. Which means whenever you needed Storm, you could just be like, oh, well, let me quickly get this. And just cast Storm instantly. That's my sound effects there, in case you were wondering, for first and foremost a High Templar warping in, which is obviously as the sound they make, and then that's the sound of a storm. And they had Revelation. They still have Revelation. Oh wait, and Vision got removed. Right. Oh yeah, so they would just become a observer, right? And then they kind of combined the two. Yeah, that makes sense. But then still, I don't know, it still doesn't quite feel like they removed and added in a different thing, in a sense, right? It's still... They just kind of combined the two abilities. Because it was a rather silly thing to have. An Oracle, press a button, okay, now I'm a detector, and... It makes a lot more sense to have the Revelation do that same thing. Alright, Alright, anyway. Regardless of all of that. What's happening here? 2 engineering base coming down for Dream as he has himself 3 command centers also. Oh, this is kind of neat. Both those command centers, their clan logos here rotating at the same time. Sorry, I'm being distracted. Getting distracted. So yeah, both of these players going for the double upgrades. Rogue going for the layer attack here as well. And once again, we're not quite seeing Dream going for that heavy Widow Mine kind of drop style, right? That is all the new raging thing all the cool Terrans are doing in town. It's more so the regular old thing that all the cool Terrans used to do in town. With the Hellions, he's getting some success with it, right? Those 4 creep tumors right there that did bite the dust. And we saw Rogue... Rogue continuously tried to minimize the amount of creep tumors he had to throw down against Prince. And here he's not having much of a choice. He's having to continue that creep spreading. He has to spend all those energy points from the Queens to get himself further ahead here. Going for a 4th base relatively quickly. Knows that he can. I believe he did see that 3rd base fly over here, perhaps with this Overlord. I believe this was a Stargate or a Starport as well that was being created. Well, now he definitely knows now. Ling walked in, so okay. Oh, Hydralisk. Hydraling Bane, it does seem to be the new thing as well for Zergs here, right? It almost feels like people have started doing this again because we saw Serral do this at King of Battles. Because we saw DRG do this as well versus TY today. And it is weird. It suddenly just kind of came back around. And the weirdest part is that people don't usually even go straight into Lurkers with this, right? I mean, I don't really think of Rogue as a Lurker player to begin with. He doesn't seem to go for the Lurkers all that often. So going for the Lingbane Hydra, I mean, we've seen Serral also not quite going for the Lurkers afterwards as well, but it would make a lot of sense to, right? It would make a lot of sense to start those Lurkers right afterwards because you already have your pre-set up units that you need to keep this going. Okay, nice little catch there on a couple of Marines as they are trying to get closer to the rest of the force here. I mean, ultimately this should be picked off all together here by Rogue. He has enough stuff, he has enough Banelings. As long as the connections are reasonable and he doesn't just lose everything onto a Widow Mine, should be able to hold off here relatively easily. Sending in those links from the back. There is still a Widow Mine there. Not the greatest split overall, but yeah, he does clean it up. He does clean it up, ultimately. Alright, now the scary part is he doesn't have that much creep anymore. Doesn't have that much creep anymore. And, well, I suppose he is mixing in those Hydralisk. I feel like the Hydralisk are just kind of there as a replacement for the Mutalisk. In a sense, because the Hydralisk can still shoot down the Medivacs, which is something you have to do in a way. Okay, no, he is going to go for the Lurkers. Alright, so nothing crazy Serral style here. We'll be going for the Lurkers. Nice pickups on those Widow Mines as well. Continuously thinking to myself here, wow, those Zerglings are going to die any moment now because of those Widow Mines. But ultimately every time just kind of on the ball here, not losing those links and just making sure that he gets the damage that he needs to. This is becoming difficult, okay? The Medivacs are picked off, so this is going to be cleaned up ultimately. The Queens, of course, still need to help each other out, though. They can't just be blocking one another. Bit of an unfortunate thing as it happens to be the fact when these Queens are, you know what, just a little bit too thick to support one another. The one blocking the other. It's a cutthroat competition as to who gets the kill on the Marines right there. They all want to be praised by Rogue. Oh, beautiful run by here being found out again. Lings finding a lot of value. They are going to get picked off. So not the greatest amount of value, but still getting something. And this is what I mean with these Hydralisks, right? They are kind of the Mutalisk. They've taken the role of Mutalisk at shooing away the meta effects. They're not as great at it because they're less mobile, of course. But in a straight up fight, they do a lot better. So it's a trade-off you're making, right? You're going to do better in a straight up fight. You're not going to be able to do anything other than just those straight up fights though, right? You're not going to be able to run after these drops as much. You're not going to be able to do harassments as much, do base trades, all that stuff kind of goes out of the window as soon as you decide not to go for those Mutalisk. And instead you're going to have to be on top of spreading out your army, splitting up your forces correctly in order to not take damage of drops. Now, Lurkers of course are coming into play. And they are going to be the tool that that Rogue needs to help facilitate these multi-pronged defenses that he has to set up. But instead, actually, he's just going to walk across the map here with, I'm sorry, how many is this? Well, just about 12 or something. Oh, I love this as well. Coming in from the left side with those links, immediately shutting off the retreat path of those SCVs on the left side and immediately jumping in on the right with those Zerglings. A very cool strategy indeed, but at the same time, he is taking some damage back at home. Doesn't have Banelings here to deal with the Marines, so he is just being forced to send these Zerglings. Okay, there are the Banelings. Will be coming in at a little bit later point in time. Doesn't take a massive hit onto the Banelings with the Widow Mines though, so that is a good thing for Rogue, I suppose. And Dream is in a lot of trouble right now. He is definitely taking quite a bit of damage. GG is called just like that. A very quick play there by Rogue. And yeah, it shows the strength of the overall Ling Bane Hydralisk style. And yeah. He definitely did trade out some of his own mobility, his own harassment potential, but ultimately turned out to be okay because, you know what, as soon as he got those 12 Lurkers, apparently you can just walk across the map and kill everything. So, you know what, that works as well. GG. GG. Alright. Game number 3, going to be on Oxide. Again, not the biggest map right now. I'll have to wait and see. Okay. It's a fairly small map, isn't it? Oxide. It's not the smallest. I think it's like the 3rd or 4th smallest map that we have available. But again, it was a map that really almost didn't get picked in King of Battles. It was in the map pool. Maybe people just didn't figure out the abusable spots quite yet. But people didn't seem to like it as much. We'll have to see how that works out in this one. And maybe we'll get some insights as to why people don't like this map as much, right? Okay, tied up series here in the bottom left side. Red Zerg fighting for the Jin Air Green Wings. He is Rogue. His opponent in the blue, in the Terran, he is Bravestar Gaming's Dream. Okay, alright. We're tied up again. It's basically a best of 5 right now. Well, we could say that this is a best of 9, right? We could start a line and then we could say it's a best of 9 and now they've both taken 2 points. But you know what? We would be lying, so let's not do that, alright? Let's just stick to this. Can you go to like a best of 11 with this? I don't think you can you? Oh, what about 0? No, it won't let me go anywhere higher than 9. Bit of a shame, isn't it? There might be a way to do so, though. Who knows? Who knows? Rogue here being very, very safe continuously with the Drone Scout, right? I'm pretty certain we've seen the Drone Scout every single time. Too nice a fella to lie. You know me too well. Bitterwood, you know me so well. So yeah, I mean, even if Dream wants to try and get sneaky here with like a 2-Rex, I really wouldn't recommend it, right? I really would not recommend it. But then again, I mean, how do you even know as a Terran player that this is happening, right? Do you continuously look back into replays after every game? You're like, all right, let me quickly rewind, go back to the beginning. Now, did he drone scout or didn't he? It could be a valuable thing to try and get a read onto, right? But ultimately it might be a difficult one to do. Not that much time in between these games, so. Although, to be fair, they are pro players. They do have some quick, nimble fingers, so who knows? Who knows? But, yeah, I mean, that would be an interesting one, right? As a Terran player, just kind of in mid-series continuously be like, alright, did you drone scout? Didn't you drone scout? Man, this looks like a face with a very ugly zit right on his forehead. Doesn't it? You have like 2 eyes, a mouth, a little tiny nose, and then a massive, just humongous, pulsating zit right on top of his forehead. Oof. There's something living inside of it. Alright, anyway. With that image in our mind, let's continue on with the game. Immediately into the Widow Mines here for Dream. So, he's kind of skipping the Reaper. He made a single Hellion afterward. No, actually, he did go for the double Hellion. Where is that other Hellion, sir? Sir? Okay, it is at home in case of run-bys. That makes sense. We've seen Rogue abusing run-bys before. That's nightmare fuel. That's right. Zogern, how you doing? What's up? Alright, so yeah, this single Hellion right here, pretty much in charge of the entire department of scouting at this moment in time. The head of scouting as the only participant. It's a difficult job, but somebody has to do it, of course. Can get rather dirty as well as soon as he trudges along on that creep. I know it would be incredibly busted, but I think it would be kind of cool if, like, mechanical units or other units would slow down on creep as well. Instead of Zerg units speeding up on creep, what if you have enemy units slow down on creep? How much would that change the entire matchup? How much of the game would be broken? Huh. It would be weird. It would be weird. That's for sure. So, what is the follow-up here? 2 more barracks together with a 3rd command center. Alright, so yeah, Dream finally going for the Widowmine harassment. But, well, it's important to note that he isn't getting himself drilling claws, right? He isn't getting a lot more Widow Mines here either, okay? He is gonna transition into a tech lab again. Gonna put both these barracks onto the reactor, so he's gonna go more marine heavy here to start things off with. He's got a lot of bunkers on the way also. Did he anticipate somewhat of a move out? Maybe, perhaps. I mean, he did see the roaches, right? He saw 6 roaches. Now, we know, of course, that I mean, it's not that much of an all-in. I suppose he still needs it in a sense because there is still a reasonable force here, and he doesn't have pretty much anything at home. So I guess it makes sense. I guess it makes sense to make these bunkers. I would have liked him a little bit further forward so they could actually shoot the roaches and ravages before he lost his supply depots here. Okay, Biles will try to gun down the Liberator as well, but ultimately Repair pretty darn good at keeping that stuff alive. Everyone who isn't a Zerg player would go out in the streets, torches and pitchforks out. That's right. That's right, yeah. They would, wouldn't they? They definitely would. Oh, it's interesting though. You could have like multiple types of creep, right? Maybe. Like different types of creep to miss. Like slowing creep that's a little bit smaller or something like that. That could be cool. That could be cool. Anyway. We would need to, you know, that's for StarCraft 3 or Craft of Stars 3. What do we have over here, good sir? Quite a few of those mariners moving out on the fields. Not all of them, though, mind you. A lot of them still staying at home, wanting to make sure that a run by it will not occur and absolutely devastate everything economy-wise for Dream here. Only losing a single marine. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Dream setting up shop a bit above the creep tumors. Looking to just deny more creep. That's all he's trying to do. That's all he is trying to do. He can start trying to do this as well on the right side. Actually, he may get a kill on this base, in fact. Oh, that is going to be close. Okay, no, will not try to commit to it. Thought for a moment he could just keep microing to the left and perhaps get that, but maybe I was wrong. I suppose Dream does know about this a little bit better than I do, and you know what? Forcing Rogue to move back and forth between these locations pretty good as well, right? Cleaning up some of those Zerglings and opening up more of an avenue here for these other Mariners coming in right now, cleaning up more creep, and that is the main part of the game right now. This is what needs to happen. This is where we need to see Dream make his big steps, right? So he opens up the area for a later part in the game where he can get those siege tank pushes. He can get those big, beefy balls of bio boys coming in and not just get stampeded over by Zerglings and Banelings and all that other stuff. Almost felt like those Marines here were changelings. Like they weren't moving with the rest of the forces. It kind of felt like it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be real Marines. But they are. They are. And we are having ourselves a couple of these Mutalisk right now. And overall, you know what? I think Dream seems to be fairly well prepared. In fact, so well prepared. He's going to be able to pick off 3 of them immediately right now, and that's a great catch to start things off with, right? Those Mutalisks haven't achieved a thing yet, and already 3 of them do fall into the, well, ever-wasting pits of the Uranus Lost tab, where their portraits will remain for the rest of this game. At least set him on fire. Oh dear. I just want to stay safe right now. Yeah, the spells are a little bit peculiar. I suppose to stay safe, it makes sense for like when you're playing PUBG or something, right? It also is the PUBG helmet, so I think it's with that in mind when people are like, "Oh, you gotta stay safe. Don't go in right now. Play it safe, sir. Play it safe." But yeah, when you're streaming StarCraft 2, that other people are playing and you're just kind of talking about it, it's a weird thing to suddenly have happen. Stay safe. Okay, well, let's try to look deeper into this game, right? The things that are cool that we're seeing is that it looks like we will be having a split map situation. What's also cool is actually a massive ball of Banelings here on the left side. The Zerglings trying to get onto the planetary fortress. That's a bit surprising, not gonna lie. The Ravagers here ready to clean up a lot of those siege tanks, but ultimately we need more Banelings here in order to really facilitate a lot of damage right now on top of this base. It looks like that is going to be acquired. But is that gonna provide an opportunity here for Dream to start moving in? It very well may be the case. I mean, he only lost a single base. If we get 2 base kills here for Dream, that would be massive. And it's not unthinkable because most of the stuff that Rogue has right now are Zerglings. He needs Banelings with this composition. He has a couple of Mutalisk as well, but the Mutalisk not doing all too well against those Marine numbers right now available for Dream together, in fact, as well, with that Thor, of course, doing quite a bit of work on the economy for Rogue. Rogue, I think he may have just overextended. He needed to get the damage done with that first wave of Banelings, and he didn't. And he had to send in the second wave of Banelings, and now he just doesn't have the forces to defend against this. And Dream, is he going to get himself a second point on the board here? He very well may. It's not quite over yet, of course, though. We do have that Thor falling. A lot of the units of Dream now trickling in one by one. Has he overstepped his luck? It may be the case. A lot of Banelings available here, but more units coming in, trickling further deeper onto Creep. That's some great spreading overall there coming out from Dream. His medeffects are starting to get a little bit low, but he has so many of them that it looks like every time anything still gets hurt, it will instantly still be starting to get healed up here. Widow Mines as well, still being able to facilitate some response to those as well. Very well played by Rogue. And you know what, a great push there by Dream as well. Immediately jumping on top of this opportunity as soon as it presented itself. A couple of Zerglings there looking for a bit of counter-aggression now, as a Dream realized that there is in fact another base hidden here. A little bit of a secret base that's not supposed to be taken by Rogue. Every single bit of money that he manages to get out of this place means less overall money in the pocket of Dream at the later point in this game. And that could be problematic, of course. And we're going to see a base over here. No, that is a Zergling, in fact. Okay, scanning again. Trying to get rid of all the creep. Ultralisk Cavern is on the way, but we're already seeing Liberators also being produced right now. Alright, let's see these Widow Mines going off. Well, at least one of them. Still one remains behind the cluster. Rogue needs to be careful. He's got enough Banelings here, though, I would say, to hold on to this base. Should not be losing it. Kind of losing the Queen there already a bit surprising for me. Careful, careful, Widow Mine. Okay, not a great hit. Did not get retargeted, but 5 more Widow Mines coming in just like that. Easy peasy for Dream right now, who is Parade pushing forwards. And Rogue starting to get in a lot of trouble here. Needs to get rid of this force, needs to trade out efficiently, but there's no creep spread whatsoever. Great Widow Mine hits, and now we just have Rogue in one hell of a bit of trouble here. One hell of a bit of trouble. The Zergling's not quite helping, the Mutalisk not quite helping, and without Infestus, without Ultralisk, it looks like we may be having another GG. There it is. GG is called Dream. Sets himself apart once again, away from Rogue in that scored screen. I guess we don't have a score screen, but in the score tab, we do have a score tab, which is not present at the moment, but as soon as we start the next game, that is where we will be seeing it. Bitterwood, you mad dog. What is that? A bravo. That is things. You donated 6,000 of those things. You know what? I wish I knew what those things really were and what they did for me, but you know what? I very much appreciate it, man. I still very much appreciate it. That's a lot of them, so you know what? I like having a lot of things, you know? Having a lot of things is always better than not having a lot of things. Just gems, alright. Gems are pretty cool. They are pretty cool. I'm one of the chosen Trovo streamers overall with the Trovo 500s, but ultimately, I think it's like bits on Twitch. I see. I'm still not quite sure how Trovo pays me, though. Need to look into that. Anyway, I appreciate it, man. That's awesome. That's awesome to see. Very cool of you, man. The bravo. It is pretty cool, though, being able to just use those types of things instead of just, you know, having a picture pop up or just kind of in the chat, oh, this amount of bits has been donated. Okay, well, that's nice. Being able to kind of use those email modes and such, right? That's pretty cool. It adds a bit of extra flavor. It gives you the option to personalize your message of bits, in a sense. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyway, in the bottom right side, here he is once more. I mean, sometimes he's on fire, sometimes he's literally in a fire and kind of dying. This time around, you know what? It's a bit of both. It's the Red Zerg, he's from the Jin Green Wings. He is Rogue. And we have that face again, don't we? The two eyes. There. You know what? This one got popped already. And now there's a giant scar there. Alright, anyway. In the top left side, we have ourselves a blue Terran plays from the Brave Star Gamers. He is Dream. Alright. Okay. Alright. Guys, I hope you are enjoying the StarCraft 2 content here. I'm gonna do my best to get as much StarCraft 2 on here as possible. Just kind of do some streams more often. And, yeah. Would appreciate a follow if you have an account. If you don't, consider making one. It would help me out, become a bit more favorable on the platform. And, be able to sink some more money into the streaming side of things. Not just money, but time also, of course. These types of things. These types of things. Anyway. What are they doing this time? What are they doing this time? What's going on? In Romanticide. Will we have more Marines? Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Queens, so well, they're already on the way. We'll have to just kind of see. There's a... Well, there's still the second base. Is it going to be Widowmines or is it going to be Hellions? I think that is the big question right now. Right? That is like the thing we need to keep an eye out for. Is it going to be Hellions? Is it going to be Widowmines? And then we need to see a response from Rogue. Because ultimately, I'm not convinced anymore that you can play Ling, Baneling, Mutalisk into the Widowmine style. Because, I mean, Terrans have gotten so incredibly good at balancing their forces. Which, what I mean with that is that they're absolutely fantastic at having the right amount of Marines, having the right amount of Marauders, and having the exact right amount of Widowmines as well. Where it becomes incredibly difficult for the Zerg to be efficient with their Banelings, still get on top of the Marauders with those Zerglings, and all while doing so, the Terrans have been getting a lot better at spreading out those units as well, because, my dear lord, for a lot of Zergs right now, it just looks like they are struggling with trying to get on top of these things. Thought Rogue never lost the best of 7. This is true. Is it true? So the story goes. It may just be finals. The final best. Well, this is the finals actually, isn't it? My dear lord, it's going to be the first time Rogue loses a best of 7. Oh my. Well, he still needs to lose 2 games. He still needs to lose 2 games, and he only needs to win 3 games, right? So, the difference, not that massive at this time. But this is an important match. Because if he doesn't win this one, suddenly he's going to have to win 3 games in a row. And if Dream... It's not a big event. Talk for yourself, boy, Fantasy. Talk for yourself. This is a big event for me, at least. Maybe not for him, though. That could be the case. Anyway, what was I saying? Well, it may not matter what I'm saying, because if these Hellions get as many drones as I'm starting to think that they may, all the things that I wanted to say may not matter anymore, because, oh dear God, that is a lot of damage right here. my bananas in a row. That is, well, that's 10 workers getting killed off right there. That's a nice chunk of change coming into Dream's pocket right there. Stats won 3 in a row today against Innovation in GSL. This is true. This is true. It's not undoable, right? But it isn't common. It's not common to see happen. It's not a common thing, and just mentally, you're going to be sitting a lot better, realizing, you know what, I tied it up. I can lose another game if I have to. I don't want to, of course, but if I have to, I have the possibility. I'm going to be strapped to utter damnation if I lose one more game right now. But yeah. Then again, sometimes player, that is where they suddenly start to shine. We saw this not just from stats today. We also saw it with Cure versus Innovation. No, wait, was it Innovation? Was it... It was TY, of course, it was TY. Right, Cure being able to take out TY in the TvZ. In King of Battles as well. And he got down on match point. It got quite low and dirty for him. Ultimately... He was like, alright, well, never mind. I guess I can just kind of relax. I need to calm down, just play my regular game. I think I'm just going to lose. That's when he started to calm down, and that is when he started playing his A game. Sometimes players, that is where they shine the most, but Rogue, is he one of those players right now here today? Could be the case, but... Ultimately, I usually see him as the player that just kind of mangles his opponents instead of slowly makes a comeback happen. He's just one of these players that when I see him do well, he starts to do very well. And then if he starts dropping games in a series, it's like, well, alright. Oh, yeah. He's just not feeling so swell today. Could be wrong about that, of course, but... Overall, that's kind of been my perception at this moment in time. I love the fact that he's taking the rich Vespian Geyser base here. It's going to allow, as soon as this is set up nice and safely, it's going to be able to take this base underneath a lot easier as well. Battlecruiser harassment is starting to take shape. There's a reasonable amount of Mutalisk here ready to interfere. Ready to... tango with those battle cruisers, both of which do jump out very soon, or very quickly, I should say. And he's still making more battle cruisers, going for the Yamato cannon, going very heavily into the mech style right here is Dream. An interesting way, and you know what? Overall, it looks like Rogue still kind of stuck on his lower tier attack. He's still on the Zergling, still on the Mutalisk. And he's going Banelings as well with this, right? So, I'm not completely convinced he knows that this is mech. Well, he should know, right? You see this and you should know that this is mech. But he's still going for more Zerglings, more Banelings, and more Mutalisk. And this could start to become trouble for our Red Zerg. He is taking more bases. I think that's a good call. Try to abuse the fact that usually a mech army does not want to start pushing out up until the point when it's maxed supply. Trades super efficiently, but not against an army that just has more supply than it does, of course, because it takes so long to build the army. So yeah, Rogue needs to take advantage of this, keep his spread of creep going every which direction. Needs to take more bases, needs to start being a little bit greedy here. And then turn the wheel around as quickly as possible as he kind of did initially. In order to be able to compete with a big, hefty, cost-efficient army like mech. This is pretty cool as well. It looks like Dream actually looking to take the high ground base also. So looks like that is going to be both these players first and foremost. Oh no, wait, actually, he is going to take the upper one beforehand. That's cool. That is cool. You know what? Can't have it all. Kozen can't have it all. Slowing down that 5th base though a little bit. Nothing too significant as... Well, he is taking a 5th and a 6th base here as well. Rogue is. No units yet on that gas though. That could become a problem. Though you know what? He has enough gas at the moment, right? It looks like he's more so hurting for minerals instead of gas. Fairly nice saturation from both these players. Great sniping onto the refineries here. Smart maneuvers coming out of Rogue. Realizing if he does manage to just keep those refineries on a lower number, then the army of Dream is not going to be able to restock up onto these more expensive units as quickly. Whether that be battlecruisers, Thors, Cyclones, Siege Tank, that kind of stuff. Okay, ITaX on the way here for Rogue. We're going to have to wait and see what he is planning to do with that. Is he going to try to go, once again, more so the Serral style, go for the Brute Lords here? Is he going to go for something entirely different? We'll have to wait and see. He's going to go for the Ultralisk. Also, something we saw Serral do, of course. It's the more common follow-up here for the Lingbane Mutalisk style, I suppose, to go into those Ultralisk. I suppose Thor still do quite alright versus the Brood Lords, but ultimately I do like to see the Brood Lords being utilized because, you know what, overall, they are one of those units that just slowly whittle down your opponents instead of just trying to explode right on top of it, like the Banelings, for example, right? They're here, they're there. They go out with a bang, and either they manage to get a ton of efficient trades, or they don't get any. And here they did manage to take out a lot of the Hellions and the Hellbats, so that is very beneficial, actually. Going to be able to start a lot of Zergling production, and the Zerglings should be able to do a lot better against the Thors without those Hellions and Hellbats being there. At the same time, forcing all these units to move back towards the left side as the Mutalisk engaging like 6 missile turrets right there. And a couple of Widow Mines perhaps also. Okay, Rogue going for the Corruptors. Okay, Widow Mine here not getting any good hits either. These Mutalisks need to be careful as well. Bit of firepower in those Thors, of course, could provide quite a bit of a dent into the Mutalisk numbers right there. May not be the worst thing for Rogue though at the moment, as he is trying to make more and more Corruptors. And see what else he is making so far. There's no greater Spire on the way. He only has a single Spire, and it's upgrading better armor at the moment. Maybe looking to fight against those battlecruisers with those Corruptors. Only has 9 of them anyway, right? So nothing too crazy in that department. SCVs are kind of being picked away at here by the Zerglings, but ultimately, is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough, or will it not be quite yet? It's definitely a tough call to make at the moment. It's Zerglings again here, getting on top of the Orbital. They do a lot of damage with the Adrenal Glands upgrade, of course. Trying to get all the damage in the world and being able to run into the 3rd base with Lynx now as well. Rogue really putting everything into just overall aggression right here. Coming in from multiple angles continuously. Oh, there we have it. There we have the Infestors now being upgraded. Infest is one of the best ways to try and deal with this kind of stuff. Neural Parasite, there it is. The crown jewel of the Infestor race. Oh, set off that Widow Mine. Come on. Come on. Still getting quite a connection there, but look at how inefficient those Banelings are now versus Thors. It's absolutely preposterous. That is nowhere near worth it anymore, I feel like. Even though they are clumped up, you just don't get those hits you want. They're just not worth it anymore. Coming here again here, but only gets one of the Thors. We'll be able to get on top of the battle cruisers though. A lot of Zerglings coming in, and they do a lot better against Thors right now. Do incredibly against those Thors at the moment. They are coming in one by one though, so that may provide a bit of difficulty as there's more Hellions on the way at this time as well. Zerglings attempting to break down a planetary also, but not finding a lot of success there. This game is starting to get really interesting at the moment. 7 Ultralisk on the way. 72 more Zerglings as well. That's pretty much the entire army supply of Rogue at the moment, as he has 96 workers available also. Rogue is starting to take bases that are probably originally intended to be for Dream here. Although, you know what, it's always difficult to say who is supposedly to be in charge of which base on these corner sides. I suppose you can't, like, there's multiple ways you can try to divvy up this map, right? But yeah, Rogue kind of walking away with those side bases here. That's exactly what he needs to do. That is what needs to happen for him in order to be able to, or be allowed to trade inefficiently here. 4 Ultralisk trying to get on top of the SCVs. The planetary fortress protecting them will fall. And 2 Ultralisk coming straight in here. That's a lot of creep as well, denying this base from floating down into a mining position. Ultimately, Rogue may just be out multitasking Dream right now with that slow, methodical mech army. That is still building and building away, though. That is getting bigger and bigger in supply. But is he going to be able to get enough bank behind this as well? Is he going to be able to set up a good defense against this amount of Ultralisk? We'll have to wait and see. Because here we go. Okay, Banelings coming in first. Getting good connections onto the Hellions and the Hellbats. Which means more Zerglings should be coming in here momentarily. Not quite here just yet. Needs a couple more. Scan finds this base. A single Thor will be sent to deal with it. The most important mission he's ever received in his entire adult Thor life. Zerglings into the 4th base as well. This should be a dead Thor. Okay, nice use of the burrow mechanic right there. They do get spotted though, most of them at least. Oh, the siege tanks again here being picked off as well as these Thors. They are also right on top of those Ultralisks. They are trading out rather nicely though. Not too shabby, but can this final Thor stay alive? It will. Okay, needs to get repaired though. Rather low on the HP. More Zerglings again here. Looks like they did get themselves unburrowed and now wreaking havoc upon this base. Nice spreading against these Widow Mines at the moment as well. Will allow access for more of the Zerg forces. Gonna wipe the floor with the Widow Mines here. Great move overall, ensuring more safe passage for these Zerg units. Is this base on the left side still standing tall as well, by the way, right? Still looking all too great. As we're getting +3/+3 air weapons and carapace as well for Rogue. Interesting. He still hasn't made much of a switch into the Sky Zerg. But maybe that's his next plan, right? Maybe that's the next step in the overall arching plan of Mr. Rogue. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe he's going to make a big switch into the Mutalisk as soon as he sees that there's a lot of siege tanks being produced right now. And that's exactly what is happening, right? What's units lost like? Alright, there you go. Quite heavily in favor for Mr. Dream at the moment. But, I mean, Rogue has 2 extra bases on him, so it doesn't quite matter. And He's had so much extra mining as well that it looks like Dream may just be starting to run out of gas here. His army supply used to be around 130, so he doesn't even have that going for him, right? He's just not maintaining his army supply here, which is becoming difficult. Wait a moment. Oh, look at that, actually. The circles disappear on the bridge there for a moment. Interesting. The bridge a bit higher than the rest of the terrain. Fancy that. Fancy that. The more you know. Yeah, this is looking rough. More Ultralisk again coming in here. Not the most cost-efficient trades, but it will trade efficiently enough. GG is called. Dream not finding a lot of room to breathe anymore. Going for that mech style and not quite being able to make it work against somebody like Rogue. Rogue, just absolutely everywhere. Man, those Zerglings, right? That's one of the things that is incredibly important that we saw Rogue do. He was utilizing the Banelings in a way to specifically target the Hellions and the Hellbats, continuously rolling in, getting rid of those guys. Not trying to get Widow Mines, not trying to get Siege Tanks, not trying to get Thors. Every time when it... Well, a lot of the time when it felt like, alright, there's just mostly Thors remaining here, he moved away with his Banelings. He moved away and he was like, alright, now we're gonna slowly try to look for a second opportunity here with these Zerglings. Now that the Hellions and the Hellbats are in lower number, we're gonna be able to get in there and do a bit of a number on those units this time around. So, very, very cool overall. Switching it up there for Rogue. And indeed, now it's the best of 3. I mean, I hear Rogue never loses a best of 7. We're going on one of the bigger maps available into the map pool right now. It's going to be Death Aura. It used to be a mid-sized map. Now it's one of the biggest, which is kind of funny. Alright, best of 7. 2-2. In the bottom right side, we got ourselves a red Zerg player looking absolutely fine at previous game. He's from Jin Air Green Wings. He is Rogue. Playing a different style right there. Going for the mech play. The Brave Star Gamer himself. He's the Blue Terran. He is Dream. Now, I have to be honest with you. The mech style overall, I don't know if I'm the biggest fan. It looks like it is open for abuse in a sense that as long as you manage to find some pathways into the base, past the defensive setup, past the Widow minefields, you're going to be able to continuously dish out punches, keep your opponents on a lower amount of bases as you're just taking the rest of the map. Now, just saying that, sounds very, very easy. The execution, though, is incredibly difficult, right? You have to continuously look around, facing your opponent to continuously try to be prepared. And put enough pressure onto your opponent that he doesn't feel safe sending even a couple of Hellions across the fields. A single Thor, anything of the sorts, is gonna be able to make your life quite miserable. Okay, drones here. Another scout happening for Rogue once more. Really does not appreciate the 2 Rex, it looks like. Does not want to get 2 Rex at all whatsoever. So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, Dream making the bio look so strong. And I'm a bit surprised that he went for the mech style to begin with, right? It could be a choice because of the map. You do have that rich Vespian geyser. There are some nice choke points in the middle, which does kind of feel like a maze of sorts. It's difficult to get through, but ultimately, at the same time, there's some nice side paths that you can take as a Zerg to get that harassment going. Okay. Reaper things occurring here, guys. A lot of drones on the way. Third base also did manage to get secured here for Rogue. Not going to be bothered too much. We haven't seen the drilling class type of attack from Dream quite yet, have we? Nor have we had the 2-base Mutalisk play that much from Rogue. I think we may have seen it like once, but even then I think he may have gotten a third base at that moment in time as well. Like, Still a couple of things I would like to see happen. Better watch out. That Reaper. The Reaper is being zoned out by 3 Queens at the moment. Ooh, gets a Creep Tumor. Does manage to shut down a Creep Tumor there. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And once again, a Fusion Core coming up here for Dream. Is Dream once again going for the mech play here? We see the foundational blocks being added into the mix at the moment. Is that what we're getting? Oh, that's a lot of drones. Okay, most of them being pulled away. I like the fact that he kept some around, being like, alright, well, you can have those, as long as you don't chase the other ones. Kind of distraction pieces, right? Sacrificial lambs thrown to the slaughter, being like, alright, well, guess I'm gonna lose something here. The Spore Crawler placement is also very interesting overall, because the way he placed his queen also, right? That would block Hellions from running through here. I suppose over here as well. This is some cool stuff. Some cool stuff, guys. The Spore Crawler being multi-purpose in a way, blocking Hellions and blocking any type of potential air attack, whether it be the Liberators, whether it be Medevacs, whether it be battle cruisers, right? Spore Crawlers helping out in that sense. Now, where's this battlecruiser gonna go? I'm not quite so certain, right? It's hard to say at this moment in time. Where should it go, though? That could be a better question. I suppose none of these bases all too incredibly defended. It would be nice to have it at the third base, but it's gonna go for the natural and the main base. Be able to ping pong between these two relatively easily with a lot of dead space for safekeeping. But yeah, the third base would have been nice because that's where the Spire is being built right now. So a delay on that Spire could provide quite a bit of damage, you know, to the Zerg momentum. They won't be able to start up those Mutalisks. They won't be able to start up Corruptors if that is what they were trying to do. And once again, we have a big step towards the mech army here, coming out for Dream. And once more, looking to get himself sorted with the mech. And I don't know how to feel about this entirely. I don't know. I mean, we did see him kind of being manhandled right there by Rogue before. Is it gonna be different this time? And then why would it be different, right? In what way is it going to be different? And that first time it felt like, as well, Rogue wasn't quite aware that it was going to be mech for a while. Although, he's doing the same thing here. He's again going for Mutalisk. I suppose he's not going for the melee and the Baneling upgrades at this time. Though seeing how well they worked out the previous time for him, and how good his control is with these units, may not be the worst thing he could do. Losing a Mutalisk for free, though, that is one of the worst things he could do. Okay, getting on top of the Cyclones. Cyclones will go down. Now we have a pretty ball of Mutalisk just floating around in these bases. Oh my god, Dream already taps out. My dear lord, did he really take that much damage somewhere else also? I'm not even sure. Man, that's a quick tap out. It's like, alright, well, Mutalisk, never mind. Screw it, I'm done. That's me done for. That puts Rogue on match point here, guys. That is a very quick turnaround overall. And I was not expecting that to happen so quickly. Very quick sudden change of fortune. I'm just grabbing myself a quick snack here. At least I should have a quick snack. Oh, let me accept this first and foremost. Let's see. What do I got? There we go. Raisins and peanuts. Lovely. As, you know what? Getting a little bit hungry. Getting a little bit peckish. Remember, guys, after this stream, we're going to shut down for a short period, and then we're going to immediately start it up again. We're going to continue onwards with a bit of replay casting from viewers. So if you have yourself a great replay overall, a fun one, a good one that you're particularly proud of or embarrassed about, who knows, who knows. We'll try not to laugh too hard. How did they close this? Jeez Louise. It's not Fort Knox, guys. You don't have to protect my snack. Oh, God. I'll just leave it here for a second. Anyway. Yeah, viewer replays will be coming in. Later on, if you want to submit a replay for casting, make sure to join the Discord and submit it immediately. Immediately. The quicker you join, the quicker you submit, the quicker it's going to be your turn. I do take my time sometimes with coming to the people that join later because, well, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be casted and don't get to do the viewer replays as much as I would like to, perhaps. But then again, we don't get that many submissions anyway, either, so. There we go. There we go. It's opened up. Sorry. I'm sorry about all the things. I probably should have muted my mic for a little second there at least. Anyway. Oh. Well, finally he is going to get rewarded for the continuous scouting he has been doing. Let's get the scoreboards here up to date. It's a 3-2. This is potentially the final game, guys. If Rogue manages to get this one, this is going to be it. This will be the final battle. But I don't know. Will it? Will it be? I don't know. Well, one barracks finishes up. Now we need some good SCV RNG to help out this this barracks creation. More SCVs are being pulled. 2 of them, in fact. Oh, good block right there on the drones. He could try to drill over here and then try to get it that way, but it looks like the barracks, both of them, will be completed. So that's a bit of a bummer right there for Rogue. Has to run away right now with those drones. And bunkers. Bunkers are on the way. The arch nemesis of a Zerg that is getting 2 Rexed. Proxy 2 Rexed. Needs to keep that Overlord safe. It's kind of nice, though, that it is being a little bit of a meat shield at the moment. Forcing the cancel on that bunker, that is a big deal. That is absolutely what you need to do. As soon as that bunker pops up, you are pretty much done for to begin with, especially the first one. Now, we do have a lot of links on the way as well. It's a spine crawler. Let's see if Rogue manages to hold on here. Needs to make this commitment before those bunkers are finished, in fact. And this is the final moment where he can afford to wait. Needs to block those Marines from getting into the bunker. They will be able to get in there. And now Micro Palooza has opened up here. Rogue spent a bit too much time waiting around, and Dream will be able to finish up both of those bunkers and start shooting down the hatchery. This is looking like more and more trouble being brought in here for Rogue. The Marines, they are being picked off as they are trying to get into the fray as well. At the front side of things, the Zerglings running past the bunker. That's probably the right call. This is the place where he needs to have that fight happen, right? This is the place where he needs to try and make a stand. Rogue is, that is. Cannot afford to fight against those bunkers at this moment in time. He's going to get his spine crawl into a good position, but that hatchery is getting extremely low at the moment. More Marines are coming in, ready to take it out immediately. Jumping backwards into that other bunker right now as well. And all those Zerglings, look at how quickly they get sniped. Not even getting close to the Marines right now. Not having speed will do that to you. And there we have it. GG. Just like that. Dream ties it up again. Alright. Well then. I mean, at this moment, you might say, dear lord, he scouts for the proxy Rex every single time. The one time it happens, he scouts it, and then he still loses to it. The one time he's getting proxy 2 Rex, he still dies to it. This entire series, he's been trying to prepare for it, and wow. Well, I guess it shows why he's so deathly afraid of the proxy 2 Rex. Right? It all makes sense now. Okay. There we are. So, Dream and Rogue. Dream and Rogue. Looking for a final game here. In the best of 7, we're going to the map 7. It's going to be the map which name we do not say, for nobody really knows how to pronounce. The map that starts with the J. In the top right side, on the map that starts with J, is the Red Terran player. He's fighting for the Brave Star Gamers. Not doing a 2 Rex so far right now, somewhere proxied. He is Dream. His opponent, bottom left side, the Blue Zerg, fighting for the Jin Air Green Wings. He is Rogue. So yeah, on this map, actually, this is one of the few maps where I'm like, alright, well, you probably don't have to send out a drone to scout. Because look at this, alright? Look at the scouting you get to do with your overlords. One of them goes this way, right? So you pretty much know over here there's nothing. And then you go towards the top. So you already check over here as well. You kind of see these places, and then you're going to see these places. So over here, you could have a proxy Rex over here, but then, I mean, this is a long walk, right? That's a very long walk. This overlord can go, actually, you should send it from your main past this point, and then start circling around again. Right? So you'll be able to see all of these places, these places, and these places. And then, like, what is still left? Like, you have all of this scouted. And you didn't have to send a drone. So, either the 2 Rex will have to be over here, behind the rocks, behind the shrubbery. Or you're going to have to put it over here. And that is such a long distance to make. I don't know. Seems like one of the few maps where you don't need to drone scout, right? Because there's quite a clear pathing for your overlords that they could take. I didn't come up with this myself, by the way, guys. I saw either Rainer or Cyril doing this with their overlords, and I was like, wow, they see everything. It's so quick as well. Oh, don't lose the drones. Don't you lose the drones. Careful, Rogue. Okay, he's being careful. So, Dream, what are you up to? Hold up. He's going back with Reaper Micro. Okay. I think that's it, right? Oh, is it? Is it not? It is not. Alright, he's coming back in. Relentless. He's out again. Alright. We're not watching that again, guys. Are we? Yeah, we're not. Okay. So. Third base. Third base for Dream. Let's get it with the 1-1-1. Going for the Hellions once again. Heinz were able to do quite a bit of damage on Death Aura. Unfortunately, it was not a map that went into his favor. Because apparently Mutalisk are not a thing he likes to face. To be fair, he didn't have a lot against the Mutalisk. Probably has to be mentioned as well. Okay, yeah, 6 Stallions and another fusion core. I mean, alright. I am stupefied, honestly. He's going for mech again right now. Maybe third time's the charm? He was doing so fantastic with the bio play, with the mines and such. I don't know. I don't know why he would be making this decision. Like, most of the time it felt like every time, you know, when he did manage to get into the groove with his Widow Mines, with his Marauders and Marine Army. Felt like he was doing the stuff that he needed to. Felt like he was making all the great maneuvers in order to get himself quite well ahead. And slowly just take the game, right? And instead we're seeing him once again going for the decision of like, alright, well, that was cool, but now I'm gonna do this. But now, I'm gonna go prove the world that I can go mech on this map. I can go mech against this opponent that just beat it twice in a row. Again, we're seeing... well, this time around we have a couple of roaches. There's only 4 of them, so... Actually, that is quite funny, isn't it? Don't see that much firepower continuously shooting roaches. It's very pretty, though. Not gonna lie, that is absolutely fantastic looking. But it's not super efficient as soon as the roach numbers increase here. Or if Mutalisk appear on the field, right? So how many roaches do we have? We only have 3 of them. No further roaches in production. It is going to be Zerglings, in fact. So I guess Rogue does want to try and maintain his gas count here for those Mutalisk, of course. Maybe he's practicing mech. Yeah, that could be the case. Oh, Rogue. Rogue! Rogue! What was that for? What was that for? Why would he kill off his own creep to me like that? Huh. Is that a mistake? Did we just see Rogue do a mistake? Do a dirty little mistake. Anyway, these Zerglings in the main base actually causing quite a ruckus. A couple of those SCVs are being picked off. More of them, in fact, in the natural base right now, as well as in the third. Grabbing themselves more and more of these SCVs. In fact, 7 of them going down. That queen is a dominatrix. Yeah, that's right. You've been a bad creep tumor. Who's been a bad creep tumor? You are. You are. That's right. You haven't... No, I'm sorry. That was a weird one, right? That was a weird one. It's gonna have to recreate that at some point. You know what? Maybe now he's like thinking to himself, you know what? If I recreate this, people are gonna know that was a mistake. If I just kind of leave it be like this, then maybe people will assume that it was on purpose. Right, quite a couple of those SCVs are being targeted down. In fact, completely ignoring the battlecruisers right now. Just straight up going for the SCVs. So many of them are falling. Even with 3 of these battlecruisers right hot on the Mutalisk tail. Oh, there's one missile turret almost about to be ready. But the Mutalisk will be able to pick off more SCVs right now. 21 of them do fall. That's plenty. That does seem to be like plenty. More Mutalisk in the production tab. 16 of them on the field. Is that going to be enough to keep Dream on 3 bases? I'm not quite sure. That's a tall order to make. 3 base mech. It's not going to be able to live for very long, but ultimately it's going to be difficult as well to already maintain a... well, to contain a mech player as well on 3 bases, right? That would be impressive. That would be thoroughly impressive if he does manage to do just that. Okay, gathering up more forces. Grabbing the overseers together with the Mutalisk right now. Needs to target down those Widow mines. Let's see if he does manage to target it down. Rotate that camera. Alright, well, gets another missile turret here. Gets more SCVs. Everything is going absolute into smithereens right now for Dream in his main base. Every single time, and he's like, alright, finally some peace and quiet here. In my main base, it suddenly starts to rain down, well, Mutalisk shurikens again. Fourth base is starting to be taken here. Maybe finally a 4th base will be acquired. I'm not quite certain if the Mutalisk are going to be able to do this, to take this one out as well. And yeah, Zargorn's saying it as well. I mean, 100 workers here available. That's a lot of workers. Rogue won't even mind too much probably losing this Mutalisk at this point. He's going to be able to take out this base. No sweat. No problem. Down it goes. Gets the Cyclone as well for his troubles. Thor trying to come in to help out against the Mutalisk, but getting caught out by the Zerglings. Another Thor here as well being caught out. And now the Mutalisks are plentiful enough that they will be able to just jump on top of these battle cruisers. The battle cruisers need to be repaired. Banelings just rolling straight in through the front door. I think we may have a GG. Are you kidding me? Rogue. I mean...